Welcome to the video YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. So how much profit do I make from my Amazon FBA brand in a day? Now, we're not talking about revenue figures. We're talking about a fixed profit figure at the end of that day after we factored in some of my costs, namely advertising and my FBA fees. So it's an interesting question, right? Many of you watching this channel are interested in selling on Amazon. You want to look at the feasibility. Is it worth it? Some of you will be Amazon sellers. And I want to give you a breakdown of what's possible and also some of the amendments and changes and improvements that I'm going to be making to my advertising campaign to increase that profitability figure. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please hit that thumbs up button. It helps me out so much. Comment below anything you want to ask and I'll be sure to get back to you. Enjoy the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. So I thought it'd be a good starting point to begin by looking at some of the costs that I incur for a typical sale. Now, we are going to run through this very quickly and we're going to end up at my profit margin, which is important because we're then going to move over to my business reports within my Seller Central. We're going to have a look at my total sales for an example day. We're going to look at yesterday. We're going to apply this margin and then look at my ad spend and some improvements that I'm going to make to that over the duration of the next sort of 3, 4, 5 weeks to optimize those campaigns to increase profitability. So if you're new to selling on Amazon, we'll whiz through this, get a brief understanding. I'm using the FBA profit calculator. You can access this on Google for free. So you can look at some product ideas, type in the ASINs and have a look at what sort of rough margins you're looking at. So firstly, Amazon fees, typical referral fee, you'll have 15% or so. It can be up, fluctuate, a little bit of wiggle room up and down. You can see it's about 15% for me here, £5.34, the privilege of selling on their platform, having access to millions of customers. The fulfillment cost. Now, if you aren't aware, fulfillment by Amazon, we're utilizing their logistical network. So essentially, all of my products from the sales that I made yesterday, I don't have to deal with any of the manual labor. So I don't store the products, I don't pick, pack, or ship them. It's all done by Amazon. So that makes things relatively passive. It's not completely passive by any means, but I probably did an hour's work yesterday and we'll have a look at how much profit I made at the end of that day for an hour's work. So yeah, the fulfillment cost, it's one of the beauties of selling on Amazon is, you work from your laptop. So I was working from a coffee shop yesterday and I work from lots of different places in lots of different countries throughout the year as I move around. And I think it's important to note really that if you are looking to sell on Amazon, you really need to consider FBA rather than your own fulfillment, merchant fulfilled, where you're actually doing this yourself. So have a think about that. Now, although I only did an hour's work yesterday on my Amazon business, I have other businesses which take up a lot of time. So my mentorship program, the Elite Academy, I did many hours yesterday working on course content, mentorship for students who basically do exactly the same as what I'm doing here. They sell on Amazon. So check that out if you're interested. So we move down cost of goods sold. So my landed cost is £10. So that's factored in the cost of the unit, the cost of VAT, duty and shipping. So it works out at £10 per unit. Now we can see my margin on that sale is 40.57. Now that's a healthy profit margin. Of the students that I work with, some people reach that figure, some people are higher, but it's not common. So you shouldn't really expect to have a 50% profit margin at all. Typically between 30 and 40 is good. Above 40 is excellent. And by crunching your numbers, making sure that you do the proper product research, you can ensure that you choose products that do have that margin for you. So bit of an overview there, just to give you an idea of the profit margin for my products. So if we move over to business reports, now we're going to have a look, not at today, we're going to have a look at yesterday. So we'll customize this and we'll run it the 16th to 16th and we'll apply. So yesterday we generated £579.86 in sales with an average sale price of £28.99. And I was happy with that day. We're just building up some momentum now this early on to be almost hitting £600 a day. That's 18K a month in sales. That's really good. So are these the biggest figures? No, I'm open and transparent about my figures when I'm generating revenue and profit on Amazon, I'll tell you what I'm doing. Some people will think it's good, some people will think it's bad, and that's up to people to decide really. But for me, I'm really happy with it, and I'm generating a nice profit from this every month, which is great. So yeah, £579 in sales. You can see the most of my sales happened around early afternoon, 2 o'clock, which seems to be typical. For me, it's just after midday that sales tend to be the most. Now, if we have a look at this figure here, guys, £579.86. That's my total sales, but it isn't obviously my profit, right? So if we apply that 40, we're going to just round it down to 40 to make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to just go onto my calculator. It'll be about £240, but we'll just put it in to get an exact figure. £579.86 multiplied by 0.4 is £231.94 in profit. But that isn't the profit that I made that day, because I incurred advertising fees, and that's something that you should also expect when you launch a product on Amazon, and when just generally you sell on Amazon. You know, I am an advocate for using PPC when it's done properly, whether you need to outsource it to someone who can manage it for you fully, or whether you have someone who comes in to optimize it. Whether you have time to do it yourself, you may need to outsource it, or put the effort in yourself to do it properly. Make sure that you're not just running a standard automatic campaign where you've got a lot of wastage on keywords that just aren't generating you any sales. So $579.86. So if we move over to my campaigns manager, right guys, I mentioned I blocked out the bottom side of the screen because we've got my campaign names and we've also got my portfolio names there as well. But we can see yesterday I spent £82.90 on advertising, and my ACOS was 27.64% with a total of £299.90 of sales. So if you think about my total sales being 590, £300 of that came from advertising. But that advertising came at a cost. So I'm actually quite happy with this ACOS. You know, if I can get this down to 20% over the next few months, that would be great. But 27% still leaves me with roughly a 13% margin for my sales through advertising, which is fine. My target ACOS is about 20, but overall, I'm pretty happy with that. But again, this figure is eating into my margin, because yesterday I mentioned that figure of £231.94. That wasn't my profit at all. So if we deduct from that total profit figure minus my advertising spend of £82.90, my profit was £149 yesterday, which is, again, something that I'm really happy with. You know, that works out. If we multiply that by 30, we're at about £4,000 plus in profit a month at that figure. And, you know, I don't put a huge amount of effort into this work. I probably should do a lot more, but I've got my focus on a lot of other things. I'm managing thousands of members, businesses through my FBA mentorship program, helping them build up their brands. So I really need to redivert more attention to this now. And again, showing you how quickly this can go from being out of stock for literally over a year, and just poof, go straight back to generating the figures we've got here. So yeah, just want to show you guys, this is just to show you what's possible. You know, people often don't really know what to expect when they're selling on Amazon, and I thought this would give you a bit of an insight. So what I want to jump into next is one of my advertising campaigns, just for one product. I'm going to break down this campaign for you and just show you some of the tweaks that I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks for this campaign. And on the topic of advertising, moving over into one of my campaigns, I've obviously had to block some things out here for privacy reasons. But on the topic of advertising, a lot of people struggle with advertising, and there's absolutely no reason, if you can afford it, to outsource your advertising and have it managed for you. There's some very, very good advertising experts on Fiverr who can do your advertising for you if you find it too hard or you haven't got time and you can afford it. So have a think about that. But advertising, in my opinion, is an essential part of your strategy for a product launch or maintaining product sales, and it's something that needs attention, basically. So this is one of a few campaigns for this particular product. I split my campaigns up. We have campaigns that run product targeting, so we target products with lower review ratings, higher prices. We have discovery campaigns with Helium 10, looking at relevant keywords. We have general discovery campaigns that extract keywords from my search term reports that have converted for me, and we target them broadly. So we look at similar keywords for keywords that we know are performing. And this is one of my performance campaigns. So you can see lots of different campaigns we've got running. And for the performance, we can see below here some changes need to be made. So firstly, I completely ignore what Amazon suggest for their bid, right? I just think they pull these figures out from literally nowhere. And from the experience I've got with Amazon advertising, you definitely don't need to be spending that much from the get-go or at all. And we can see that from here. My bid on this is half really of the top range of what they're suggesting, and we've got a 23% ACOS and lots of sales. So I've worked down from about 80 pence bid with this to a sweet spot of about 60. Now we can see from below here excuse me, that we've got some keywords in this exact campaign that just aren't producing any expenditure at all, which means people aren't clicking on them. Either they're not relevant or we're not getting enough impressions. So I'm likely going to increase the bid for these keywords to try and get a bit more exposure so we can get some more data to further review them. So for these two here, I'll usually make an adjustment of about 10 pence. So we'll move up to 70 pence for these, monitor it for a few days, see if we start getting some spend for these keywords. And if we get some conversions, we can make some further adjustments. But you really need to be making sure you're optimizing these. So downloading your search term reports, having a look at what's converting, creating these campaigns. Don't just waste a lot of money on automatic campaigns where you're going to be blowing a huge amount of your spend on keywords that literally just never convert for you and don't generate any sales. There's a lot of wastage with automatics, although they can have some benefits early on with discovery. So a little bit of an example here. We've got a good ACOS with this particular campaign. I'm going to be increasing the spend for this campaign so we can bump up these orders and sales and hopefully maintain that ACOS, but increase the overall sales for this campaign and overall profitability then as well. It's also going to help with my organic ranking for the keywords that I'm targeting here. So lots to think about, guys. Again, a little video showing you a typical day for me on Amazon, and I hope you found it useful. If you have got any questions, comment below. Please like the video. Honestly, just click that thumbs up button. It helps me loads with these videos. Lots coming for my mentorship program, the Elite Academy, moving into the end of the year in 2023. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.